What is going on, guys? The Big Calhoun here, and I'm bringing you a good old-fashioned mid-kill game. Um, on the good old Helm on Sitar. Looks like we have a couple golds, a silver, myself, well they count as silver, a platinum and a gold. We have a pretty decent team setup, to be honest. The jungle, Rengar, we get the Nami Lucian bot lane, definitely synergize very well. Then we have the Aurelia top, also a decent pick versus the Riven top. And then we also have the mid lane matchup, Pax Twisted Fate, and his actual name is Pax Twisted Fate. Who would have thought of that? We're gonna run the Doran's Ring and two health pots, just a general setup. This is pretty safe, along with the mastery that allows the cookie, so you get a little bit more health and mana regeneration. So this can definitely help you sustain a little bit more in lane in the early game. Um, Honestly, there's the different talent. I think it allows you to do a little bit more damage when there's no other targets around. That's also a decent talent to pick up. But I would just go for a little bit more sustain, just because the early game for Kayle is definitely one of the hard routes or hard things about this hero. She's definitely probably one of the better scaling champions in League of Legends. Of course, with that being said, her early game can definitely be difficult to handle if you are not used to playing her or if you just don't know how to use her. And overall, it's just, like I said, she's a scaling hero or champion, so it's something you have to deal with a weak early game. Going against Twisted Fate, of course, you're melee and ranged, so you're hybrid versus a ranged champion, so you have to be careful with going in for trades. You have to be careful when you're going in for farming. Excuse me, gotta take a drink of the good old tea. As you see, I'm just sitting around in mid lane. You want to be proactive in the early game, because if you're not proactive, you can have the blitz. Like I said, if I was just sitting AFK at my tower not doing anything, he could have possibly gone up and interrupted their pool. He could have gone up and done something that we probably don't want to happen to our Rengar jungle or Nami. Not very mobile hero. Solution gets pulled as long as he didn't scale the ability before the game started, of course. He could have just dashed away. But definitely just be proactive. Go left and right. Don't just stand AFK at a tower. Just keep constantly moving. It'll definitely help you out. Just because if you just standing there, you're not doing anything. You could just stand and have a potential. You could see Blitzcrank going to mess with our jungle. I don't actually think he gets anything out of it. So that's definitely something that Blitzcranks can do. Yeah, see, the Rengar was smart. He looked, and that ward that Nami placed earlier definitely saved him. Now, along with the gameplay of the Kayle, as you can see, I'm just going to try to farm up and use my mana just to, try not to miss those early creeps. Using mana for the farm is definitely worth it. Of course, don't spam the abilities just like constantly, because if you do that, then you're just going to find yourself running out of mana way too quick, and you're not going to be able to train with your lane. As you can see, this TF is out of mana. He went a little bit aggro, but as you can see, my minions did push him back. And that's also another thing you need to be aware of, is minion damage. Minion damage is insane in this game, and they definitely hurt. They look like cute little creatures, but they definitely fucking, pack a punch. And if you go into trade, they will aggro onto you, and if you stand in the middle of a wave, say I was to go into trade right here, just because he walked a little bit closer than he should have. If I was to go up and auto him, I would get absolutely destroyed and lose that trade due to the fact that there were so many minions there. As you can see, I did take quite a bit of damage there. That was definitely my bad. I wasn't concentrating. I should have definitely played a little bit farther back behind that wave, just so I could farm a little bit better and not worry about going up and trying to trade with him, because there's absolutely no point. I do go up and try to aggro him, because I do see that my jungler and his jungler are facing off on the little crab. So I was definitely just trying to make sure. It's like, hey man, focus on me, not those two up top. We are running the Thunderlord's Decree. which is definitely one of the better mid lane masteries that you can use. I was right here. I was seeing if whether or not I should teleport top. I just decided not to, just because Riven and Rek'Sai have really nice damage early game, and Aurelia was definitely caught out, so there was no point in me teleporting up there. I do decide to teleport mid lane though, just because it's a small cooldown, and well, it's not necessarily a small cooldown, but they had a nice minion wave, and I figured that he would probably push the wave, and maybe I can challenge him and possibly get a kill here. But I do not have ignite, so that's definitely the downfall of running teleport, is that you have a little bit less kill potential than someone who would have ignite. So like him, for example, he has ignite, I have to teleport. So excuse me, he does back here. So that means he's not level 6 yet, so I don't have to worry about him going into any lanes just because it wouldn't be productive for him to. Now say Nami and Lucian or Aurelia were pushed up and I'm not pushing my wave, he could have taken advantage of that. But as you can see, I do have it nice and pushed up, and hopefully he'll miss a couple minion creeps, which he doesn't. Which is okay. So as you can see, when you're in a circumstance where your mid lane backs and doesn't have teleport, just runs ignite, and doesn't actually have an ability like Twisted Fate does when he hits level 6, make sure you push that wave up, because once you do, it does damage to the tower and it prevents XP and gold going to them. And that's definitely something, if they're not doing to you and you're taking advantage of that, it's just insane. It adds up. It's like a ton, and it's definitely something that you should be doing proactively. Like I said, of course, use your mana wisely. Don't constantly be spamming it randomly. Just use it to farm minions, and do your best to get that CS advantage. He does try to go into me, and I accept that because I know I have my ultimate, and my ult cooldown isn't as long as the ignite cooldown, so I figured that would be a decent trade. So that's definitely something you can do. Baiting is definitely okay. It just depends on the situation. Right there I was perfectly safe and I didn't really lose anything but a little ult cooldown that comes back up. He flashes there. I'm not really sure if I should have flashed there, but it was just preemptively just in case Rek'Sai was there. It's better to be safe than sorry, of course, because giving it advantages as Kayle to your enemy laner sucks, and it's definitely something you should avoid. Nami comes in for a gank, just gets a little bit more damage, but as you can see, Rek'Sai was there, and we decided to back off. Going into the bot lane, for Lucian and Ezreal, you can also see that their support is missing, so we don't necessarily know exactly where they are, so you got to be careful with that. We don't really have very good ward coverage. Sadly, we should probably back and buy a pink ward at this situation, just so we can keep an eye on Twisted Fate, because he is missing. And when a Twisted Fate's missing, he could be roaming, or he could be coming up to just back to lane. As you can see, both our lanes are pretty pushed into their own respective towers, so we don't have to worry about that. Nami and Blitz do go at it, and I'm worried that Twisted Fate will teleport down there, just because the potential of a kill on a Nami is very high, just due to her being immobile. But they decided not to go on it. And there's Twisted Fate. So he is mid. We have eyes on him. We don't have to worry about him going to other lanes. Aurelia is pushed back to their tower. And so are our bot lane. So we're going to be going up to the mid, and we're just going to call no flash. Just make sure you just constantly be typing whenever summoners are down, just because it helps out your jungler. And with the Rengar jungle, once he hits 6, and if a TF does not have flash, that's just free right there, you know. Jumps on him, boom, bada bing, bada boom, he's dead. Aurelia and Riven are constantly fighting up top lane. Sadly, our Aurelia is having a hard time. Rek'Sai is up there giving their just issues. As we can tell, TF did just roam top, and I just called TF as roaming. We do look at Aurelia. She could have backed there, and definitely think she could have ran. She had plenty of time to, and she has a lot better chance versus just a TF, just stun and run, than a Rek'Sai and TF. So she definitely, I feel like she made a very bad decision there, but it's okay. She's, as you can see, she's definitely being frustrated, or very frustrated with how the game is playing out, but that's okay. You know, everybody gets frustrated. I did tell her that she could have ran. I don't know necessarily, try to avoid that. I didn't mean it in a bad way, and I hope she didn't take it. But she's definitely frustrated, and I can understand that. We are going to try to go down in for the Mountain Drake due to Rek'Sai TF and Riven being top lane, and they just got a kill. So hopefully we can get this mountain drink because it definitely helps out. It allows you to do more damage to objectives, so that will definitely help us in the later game while everything's still up, and give us a goal advantage. Plus, it's just something good to have when you're in an even game like this. So, yeah, see, I was scared he wasn't gonna smite it correctly, but TF Rek'Sai goes in, tries to steal it. He could have definitely stole it there. And then of course we had the TF dying, and luckily we got that level up on Rengar. Now we're going for we're just looking up mid lane to see how they're doing. You always don't want to just be focused on your one lane. You want to be fairly productive. Because if you're not productive and you're not constantly looking around, you're going to just tunnel vision and you're going to be surprised whenever something does happen. We're like, whoa, I didn't see that coming. Well, if you're productive, then you won't have to worry about that. Now we have of course, mid lane matchup. I'm 0-0-2 right now. For just doing decent, just trying to farm up. I don't have to worry about getting kills too much. Just need to make sure I'm being productive with my farming. As you can see, the Aurelia just goes top, and she's been fighting her constantly and hasn't been working out. Hopefully she doesn't get too frustrated. As you can see, Rek'Sai's behind me, and I choose not to go in on her. So we're just going to push this wave because we do see that Riven is backing. So if we push this wave, it'll deny her quite a bit of creeps. Plus we get this farm. And we don't have to worry about Aurelia wanting it because she's going to go teleport bot lane and try to achieve something there, which is great. Just because she's having a hard lane top lane, so might as well focus your attention somewhere else and get them snowballing so they can carry you and hopefully allow you to have a little bit better game than you usually do, or you are having. So I think she definitely made the right decision. As you see, TF is teleporting, and so is Riven. I'm going to teleport down here to help them, and we're going to see what we can do here. I go on Riven first, and I get my Q and E off on her, shred that armor, and do quite a bit of damage. As you can see, our Lucian chose to go the wrong direction, so he's going to die, and he's going to be out of the fight. They're going to go in. I'm going to go into the bush. This is a good tip. If you go into the bush, you just lose vision to where TF or none of them can get sights on you to know exactly where you are. Rengar does decide to go in. Luckily, the Ezreal did not. It's not Naomi, and we're gonna ult him preemptively so he doesn't take a ton of damage at the beginning. That could be a good thing and a bad thing. It just depends. It definitely allows him to not get bursted right in the beginning, and it allows him to survive a little bit longer. But also, you want to use it whenever people are low health. But we were able to pick up 2 kills there. Insane damage on them whenever we did jump on them, so that's great. We're going to kill this pink ward just to deny a little bit more vision. I do get pulled here, but I think I'm okay. Yes, I am. Oh, no, I'm not. I got sniped by the TF, but we did get a kill there. So it was 1 for 1, or I guess a 1 for 3 there. Then we go for a 1 for 4, and are we going to get Ezreal? Normie dies to Ezreal, and we do get him. So Aurelia is back in this game, and that's going to be definitely something we want due to how strong she is. Rek'Sai's coming. It's just a clusterfuck down in bot lane. See if Rengar goes in, and he dies. He chose the wrong ability. If he used his W, he definitely would have survived there and would have outplayed, and that would have been awesome for us. Just to make it a little bit more in our favor than it was because he died. Let's see, we're going to go top lane. Nope. We're going to go, of course I'm watching this gameplay. Sort of as a live commentary. I just played this game, and I definitely thought it was a decent game on Kayle. A fresh game on her. I wanted to play jungle, but I wasn't able to get it. But basically, how I'm doing this, I'm just going to get these games, and I'm going to record them as fresh as possible. And if I catch something that, once I'm, when I'm talking over it, if I catch something, I'm going to talk about it. But of course, I don't know exactly what's going to come up, because, I mean, these games are just, they're new, and, of course, I'm not going to have the best memory of exactly what just happened. I do have a general idea, and I definitely think this is how you should play Kayle. So if you definitely have any kind of questions, just comment down below and I can try to answer them. She's not my main hero, I hardly ever play her, but due to the limit selections, this is the one I wanted to play because I felt like that would be really good with our composition. And that's definitely something you should try and the champion select is choose something that'll benefit everybody. I chose Kayle because we had an Aurelia, and we also had a Rengar, so I knew both of them would be going ham and jumping into them. So I didn't want to be selfish and play someone like Zed or Talon, not just because I have those, I don't have them, of course, but because they wouldn't have done anything for us. We already had our Rengar and we already had our Aurelia. We didn't need anybody to go in ham, so we just needed someone to sit back, shred the armor, do as much damage as possible, and keep people alive. So that's why I chose the support mage. She also is a very strong carry. So there's a couple different reasons why I chose Kayle, and how you should just be careful with who you choose. You don't want to choose someone that you don't need or won't benefit you. And we absolutely destroy this Ezreal here. He just gets blown up. Our damage is starting to come up. We're about to finish our first core item. And once we finish this first core item, Kayle just starts to go insane. She goes from a support mage to a carry mage. TF is going to get our mid tower, though we have neglected it because we have been roaming quite a bit. We're going to chase after him, and I don't think we're going to be able to get this kill just because he's so fast. We'll have tier 1 boots, and he's just going to get away after he stuns us. So once we keep on farming and trying to scale a little bit more, we are going to hit that 100 CS mark. You want to at least have 140 to 160 by the 20-minute mark. That should be our goal. Now, if you're just in bronze and you're having an issue with CSing, try to make it 100. I mean, that's a decent little number. Of course, as you watch pro players, they have an insane amount of CS by the 20-minute mark, and that's definitely probably one of the most important mechanics in this game. Is just farming, and it's very simple, but you can find yourself missing CS, missing waves, and it just puts you farther behind, but your opponent's also doing that. So if you can just focus on one thing, first, here's a couple tips. It would be map awareness. Try to look down in the bottom right hand corner at least once every couple seconds. That's what I constantly do. Just why I try to avoid ganks. As you can see, I've only died once here, and that was due to me trying to help bot lane. I did get pulled, but just constantly being proactive and looking down in the bottom right hand corner of that map, or in the bottom left hand corner, however you have it set up. Just constantly look, constantly look. And that's probably my biggest tip, probably one of the more important tips, I guess. The second would be to CS. CS is probably going to be your best income. Of course, with lower elo matches, there's going to be tons of kills, which of course give you gold, but I think it's every 15 to 17 CS equals 1 kill. So there's going to be more CSing in a game than there is going to be killing. So you definitely need to just constantly farm. Don't miss your waves. Push your waves up if you're going to back. Don't let your mid lane push you in and then make you miss a wave just because you failed to back. I mean, most mages nowadays have good clearing. That's why you can see I'm maxing my E and I'm maxing my Q. My E is going to have a shorter cooldown, cost less mana, and it's going to make me a ranged hero compared to a melee hero, and it's also going to give me AoE splash that I can constantly use to clear that wave up. We do take the first tower earlier in the game, and that's a huge advantage. So whenever you do have an open turret, make sure you do damage to it, because that first early gold game, early tower gold is insane. And it can put your team ahead and allow someone to buy an item that they needed to, or just need a little bit more gold just because, maybe they weren't CSing the best. If you get that first tower, it can definitely make up for the lack of CSing you might do on the early game. We're going to have our first really nice team fight. As you can see, we do have an Aurelia going low on health, so we're going to ult her, and then we also have Rengar dying instantly to the card. And we're going to run up top, because we definitely don't think we can salvage this team fight. Just going to come down here and give Aurelia some support so she doesn't die. She's a little bit faster than they are, and we are going to get away. Rek'Sai comes in. We're going to see if we can kill him. I think he's definitely pushing way more than he should. We do get a kill on him, and then we're going to run away. Sadly, Aurelia does die, though. But I think I'm going to be able to get away here. Do I? Yes. Luckily, Ezreal got that proc off way later than he should have. So we are good to go. A lot of teammates are pinging up top, but I'm going to take this blue buff just to give us a little bit more cooldown, mana regeneration, and because it's not going to do us any good for me to go up there solo. I'm just going to wait for them, be patient, get the blue buff, see that they are going to be fighting up top. I'm going to go up there with them, see what they can do here. Luckily, Lucian does get away, and Ezreal and Riven are running for the line, so we're going to come with them. Ezreal's down, and we're going to see if we can get Riven. Can we? Oh, she got in a fog of war. That's definitely something that sucks. Looks like we're going to have a little bit issues here. Looks like I get away with barely any health, and so does she. I'm going to try to sidestep this card. Constantly using the mouse, constantly clicking, so I'm not like just being stable in one place. We get Riven, but we had to trade for Lucian. He could have played a little bit back safer, and probably we would have gotten a kill. Gonna run away to kite him, dodge that yellow card, and Nami and I get away safely. Mid lane's fighting, I think, Rengar. Yeah, Rengar does go down here, and Aurelia's gonna run away from the Blitzcrank and Rek'Sai. Oh, Rek'Sai's actually dead. Just gonna run away from the Blitzcrank, which he's not gonna be able to do very much to her due to how tanky she is and how strong she is. And of course, he's just a support and doesn't have very much gold, and he's not a very good scaling hero. Comparative team-wise, we have the better scaling team. We have a Kayle, Aurelia, Lucian, and Nami, along with the Rengar, who can pretty much get like 1080 and just boom, crit headshot somebody and they instantly die. Of course, they have they have an Ezreal and a TF. They also have a Rek'Sai, so they have a pretty stable team, but their Blitzcrank I definitely think is one of those heroes that just becomes useless on the end game. Of course, you can get that one pull, but that one pull just looks like a lucky pull. You definitely got to make sure you land them. If you're not, then your hero is pretty much useless. But we're going to be looking towards the mid lane to see what we can do. She's going to get on TF. He walked up randomly, and he's just going to get punished for it. I don't really know. He might have been alt-tabbed. Definitely try to avoid doing that because it's not going to do you any good at all. And we're going to get him, and we're going to see what we can do mid lane. We're definitely going to try to push this tower just because this game is going past 20 minutes, and we've all gotten 1 to 2 core items. I'm just about to finish my Rylas, and it's just so strong. We're just going to push this turret and get a little more gold, and we're going to have a little team fight. Riven does go in, but she goes in without the team going in. I definitely think she should have waited for Rek'Sai to go engage, because if she did, then she would have been chunked out like that crazily. She's not very tanky, even though she does have a shield every couple seconds based on her attack damage, which is great. But like I said, it's just bonus health basically, whereas shield, it doesn't have any kind of resist, so she will just shred that instantly. Ezreal's definitely trying his hardest. Rek'Sai is just to the side. He's not really getting or creating any kind of pressure to us, so we're just going to take that tower without any kind of losses at all. We're going to look towards the blue buff and the dragon. Rek'Sai is just, he's been playing around the right side that whole time, and he's not doing anything. So if I was him, I would have definitely played mid, just because the potential to go in after a Blitzhook. And playing on the right side, especially when we know he's there, he's not going to get a special engage off at all. Just because, like I said, we do have vision of him, and we're not afraid. I mean, he's not in the front lines, he's just to the side. We have a Lucian, and Aurelia can just stun him up. We're going to head to the mountain break. I think that'll be our second one if we do get this, and maybe we can get a fight. So that's what we're doing here. After we take an objective, we're all sort of healthy, definitely got some HP on us. So we're going to try to pull out the enemy team. Aurelia is just about to get chunked out here and die, but I am able to save her. Riven goes in, and that Rek'Sai is not in this battle at all. Like I said, Riven keeps going in and trying to engage to try and be that hard engage, but she's not achieving anything. She's just getting chunked out. But we're going to look towards Drake and see if we can take it and maybe get a couple kills, because they are definitely unhealthy, and it's a 3v5. Definitely try to take that crab just because it does give you that nice speed boost, and it gives you that little bit of vision. Nami lands an awesome bubble here, and I just go into her 1-2 pop and just try to chunk him out, and the Lucian goes in for the execute. TF is just, these people, you know, within this elo, they haven't grouped up at all. If they just grouped up in like a death ball, they definitely would have been able to achieve a lot more than what they're achieving now. They're just basically coming in one by one, try to get a kill on one of our low health targets, which doesn't work because we have a Kayle. And then we just instantly shred them with my E, my Q burst, And then we have a Lucian, Aurelia, and then Nami just gets a free stun on him as well. We're going to get our Rylos, and that's definitely one of our nice power spikes along with our attack speed that we got from our first item. And it's going to allow us to kite a lot more, and it's going to give us a little bit more sustainability or survivability just because that bonus HP is awesome. And it, like I said, it gives us that kite potential with our Q and our E constantly putting splash and freezing the enemies or making them run a little bit slower. Freezing up their joints, I guess. That's pretty messed up though. We're going to take blue buff, and we're going to read around 30% cooldown. And sadly, she does not get the bubble on the super fast blitzcrank, because that would have definitely been a nice pick for us to get if we wanted to take Baron. We have to worry about anybody getting pulled out. We're gonna go. I think this is going to be our next team fight that we have. We don't have any vision in this bush. I go up and ward just because I do have my summoners up and my ult. I'm not very afraid of dying instantly, and I do have my team to back me up just in case they do pull me. I put a ward on the bush over there. It doesn't do very well just because they do have a pink over there, but it's just in case someone's just being sneaky just to try to get a quick kill on me. We do go into our next team fight. I go in on the Ezreal who's ulting in place. He doesn't really have much of an option to move at all, and we just pick up 3 kills here, and we're gonna go in for the finish. There's no point in getting the Baron. That's something that we can do if we're unable to finish. But if you have a chance to take the inhibitor or like towers, definitely prioritize that over Baron, because Baron is something you will do after that. Coming up, I think on 25 minutes to 27 minutes game, fairly quick. 5-1 and 13, definitely something that you can watch and enjoy. Definitely leave a like and comment, just if you like the long games. It's a fairly 27 minutes of me talking and rambling. Be annoying or it can be informative, but we are going to finish the game out here. So like, comment, subscribe for daily uploads, and I hope you all enjoyed. You have a wonderful day, and thank you. Bye bye.